We'll start recording now. Okay, so today's assignment is for each student in the class to watch a video of a phenomenon and then explain it using drawing tools. Each of your jobs are in the link for group roles. Each of your roles are labeled. You're not going to do the job of your job description this time. You're going to be just using your job title to know which phenomenon you're going to explain. If you're influencer, you're going to watch this phenomenon of ice melting on 4 different surfaces. I'll play just a little bit. It's just a time lapse, and it's going to show which melts the ice fastest and slowest. Now, if this doesn't work for everyone, then it's going to have to be a different link that I give you in the chat. But this is on a YouTube link, so it should work because YouTube is universal. If you are a writer, you have to watch this video. And this is about a bottle on ice. And it's also a bottle that's going to be placed on ice with a coin. And then both are placed on hot water. And something's going to happen to the coin. Okay? So that's what the writer is going to be watching. The manager, you're going to watch this video. And this video is about taking a coin and putting it under a cup. And on the cup, you're going to pour water. You're going to watch what happens to the coin under the cup. Okay, the coin's not in the cup, it's under the cup. If you're a graphic designer, you're going to watch what happens when a tennis ball and a basketball are dropped on top of each other. And you're going to explain what happens. Okay? You're going to explain what happens. And where you explain this phenomena is going to be, let me delete this. You're going to draw here. So I want everyone to go to this link. This is your drawing template. Okay, everyone go to that link and make a copy. When you make a copy, you're going to be given this canvas and all these symbols. These symbols are what are useful in chemistry to represent what's inside of things and what are things made of and why things will move. Okay, so you'll get used to using these throughout the year. This is just the first day. And remember, your model is always going to be wrong, but some things are going to be useful about it. And we're going to do a version 2 of your model next week after you get feedback from your group members. So my tanker is oval shaped. A classmate said it should be cylinder. So what I'm going to do is go to my shapes, find a cylinder, and you can follow along, but you'll just delete it later because you're going to explain a different phenomenon. But since I'm showing you an example, you can follow along for practice. I went to shapes. I think this is called can. And then I can draw the can. Now you need to rotate your images if they're not matching the phenomenon. And you can do that by grabbing that ball at the top. Okay, you grab that and then you can rotate it. And then you can resize it if you want. Now, the tanker also had wheels. But what I'm not going to focus on is all of this other detail because, one, there's not enough time, and two, there's not enough space to do all these little details. But right now, my model doesn't look like a tanker because it doesn't have wheels. So I'm just going to at least add wheels. And when you do your model, I want you to start with the basic shape first. So shapes, circle, there's my first wheel. And instead of drawing it over and over, I could just right-click, copy, right-click, paste. Okay? And there's 4 wheels, so I'm going to go ahead and do that 2 more times. Right-click, paste. Now I can drag them under each area that probably has a wheel. And now I have something that looks more like the tanker than my original model. Now, what was useful to some students was that I drew what's inside. And I'm going to use a symbol that shows something moving. And I'm going to do 4 of those. Right-click, paste, right-click, paste. And I'll put those inside. Now, as a science teacher, I have been taught that air is inside of most containers. And air is inside of most containers and is always moving in different directions. Otherwise, everything would flatten out. So let's go ahead and rotate these so that it shows that my air is moving in different directions, keeping the tanker its full size. Let's go this way. Okay, air is moving in different directions. Now, I could draw myself a thermometer to show the temperature, but that can be challenging because there's only these limited shapes. So we're going to go to a second website and start inserting images that are more useful than Google drawing images. The website is called chemix.org. And I'll put that in the chat. I'm going to turn off the annotation feature. And let's give you this link. Advanced shapes. And I'll start with a thermometer. Those who are influencers, you have to draw ice melting on different surfaces. So it would be helpful if you found a thermometer. So everyone go to chemix.org, skip the tour, because I'm giving you the tour. And then type in thermometer. Oh yeah, delete what was here earlier, because you don't need water. So George, the chemix.org doesn't work on your phone? Yeah, if you're using a phone, there might be some limitations. I will allow those who are using phones to draw on paper. Yes, and if your screen is too small, definitely use a piece of paper and then take a picture of the paper, make sure there's ample lighting and that your focus is sharp. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to read. So those who need a thermometer for their model, you type in thermometer and go ahead and use the generic thermometer. And when you do that, you can change how much liquid's inside. Now, one of the students in your class said that the thermometer is showing the temperature to be too hot. And maybe that's true. Maybe that's wrong. And what would be more useful is if the temperature was a little bit lower. So maybe that much. Yeah. Maybe, George, you could find a way to draw on your screen a model, a very basic model of your assigned phenomenon. Okay, so we have this thermometer. How do we get it to our Google Draw? You click download, then you click PNG. Everyone see that? Downloads up here. Then you click PNG. Then go to your template. Then go to insert. Then go to image, upload, and downloads, file, and open. There's my thermometer, a gigantic thermometer. So go ahead and drag the corner, shrink it down. And if you don't have a mouse, it could be challenging, but do your best with the trackpad. So now we have a hot temperature, not as hot as before, because maybe if it's that hot, it'll melt the metal. And then I'm going to label this if it's before, during, or after. Use the text box. And now I can start my second component. Now, instead of starting over, I can just drag over my images, right-click, copy, right-click, paste. Drag everything down, and now I have something for my during. I just need to edit it. So I'll go ahead and click my before, click during, and then I don't want this temperature to be the same temperature as before, so I'll delete it. Go to chemix, close that, click my thermometer, go to the temperature, and lower it maybe that much. Download image, PNG, go to template, go to insert, go to image, go to upload, go to downloads, file, open. Now I've got my thermometer, and I can shrink this down. And then I'll probably want to change what's inside. It's hard to grab each individual one. So I might want to move this and then grab everything inside, delete it, take this, put it back. And then I wanted to show that whatever's inside is moving slower. But I can't shorten the arrows with these pre-made symbols. So I'll just take the arrows away. I know some students said, the arrows should still be there. But I'm going to just do the best I can with what I have and show the air that without arrows, just to represent that they're moving slower. Right-click, copy, right-click, paste, right-click, copy. Oh, I already did that. Right-click, paste, right-click, paste. So I've got 4 of these. It's going to be tough to move them if they're really small. So instead, I'm just going to put them closer together as the size is big, and then I'm going to shrink it. And then put it over here. So as a science teacher, my knowledge informs me that when things cool down, they move slower and they come closer together. So that's why I represented it with these symbols. And this is wrong because there should be arrows still. but I'm not able to shrink my arrows. So that's just something we have to look past. But I did show the relationship between temperature and movement. Okay, now some of you are going to need shapes that are not thermometer, but bottle. Some of you have the phenomenon of bottle and coin. So I'm going to go to chemix. I'm going to type in bottle. And what pops up are these different versions. The stamp means you got to pay to use it. Don't pay. Use the free one. Click pipette bottle. And there is a bottle. Now, if you click on liquid on the right, you can change if it's a full bottle or an empty bottle. The video is going to show you an empty bottle. So take out all the liquid by moving this meter down. And now let's go ahead and bring it into our template. Download. PNG. Yeah, Benjamin, this is due today. However, you don't have to finish it because this is an introduction to modeling. So you got to turn in whatever you have done by 2 o'clock on a Schoology post. And then on Tuesday, your group members will look at what you've done and give you 2 pieces of feedback, 2 things wrong about your model, because all models are wrong, and 2 things that are useful about it, because some models can be useful. Okay, I'm going to insert the bottle and find it in downloads and click the file, and there's my bottle. If you're going to draw an explanation of the coin and the bottle, make sure that you have it at an appropriate size where you can show what's happening inside. If you try to show a bottle like this, it's going to be very difficult to show what's inside. But that's how you can select the bottle. Those doing the cup and the coin, we can try to look for a cup. Click calorimetry cup. Delete the bottle. And in the video of the coin and the cup is filled with water. So you'll do the opposite as the student who had a bottle. Click liquid and go ahead and fill your cup to the maximum. Go to download image, go to PNG, go to template, go to insert, go to image, go to upload, go to downloads, file, open. Now we have a full cup for the phenomenon of cup covering a coin that's filled with water. So that's how you do the advanced shapes. Basic shapes you can find in here. The student who's drawing the basketball and the tennis ball, I'd be impressed if you can find a sphere. There's circles, which is very basic, but if you can find the sphere and include that, then your model becomes more 3D, and it'll pop out of the page. Okay, so if I was going to show an after, I'm not going to redraw everything. I'm going to right-click, copy, right-click, paste, and then drag it down. So I'm already running out of room. So what I'm going to do, instead of moving everything down one at a time, I'm going to shrink my before and during by doing that. And now I can fit all 3. And that's really nice about the computer, the digital models. The digital models can be used for multiple purposes, especially when you can shrink it down. And if you want to draw more, you can also expand your canvas by grabbing the bottom corner and dragging it like that. Let me see what's happening here. Maybe I have to move these. There. So I guess if you put something on the left, you can't really expand your canvas. But that's how you do that if you need extra room. I guess we'll put these over here for now. I would label this after, or spelling it correctly. And then I would need a new thermometer. And let's go ahead and do this. If you have any questions, please type it in the chat, and I'll answer it about your assignment. But I'm almost done explaining. No questions. Yeah, if you don't finish in class, I'll go ahead and let you turn it in by the end of the day. But you need to stay in the Zoom meeting and get as much work done as possible, because you can ask questions. I'm going to continually add to this model so that it shows, so you can see, what's one way of making models, and yeah. Oh, let me show you how to post the assignment after I get this last part explained. Let's go ahead and scoot these down. So as a science teacher, I've been taught about what happens to air when it gets colder, and that is it doesn't move around as much, and so it becomes, that's way too little. Let's go like this. Okay, so there is a little bit an improvement on our drawing, because it comes to the shape and the temperature. Of course, I could add a lot more, but I want you to spend more time on your model. Okay, so Jalen, what we can do is give you the assignment, and you can read over the instructions. You first have to find out your group role. Then you find out which video each job title is receiving. And then you're going to click the template link that I gave you in the chat. And then you're going to use not only Google Draw tools, but also chemix. And I have this the screen recorded, just the share screen, so that you can rewatch it at another time if you wanted to see certain steps. And it's individual work today, and then Tuesday we'll do breakout groups and critique. Okay, any questions? All right, if not, I'll go ahead and publish. And everyone refresh your page.